So, as we recover from Hungary, let's set our sights for Spa and try to forget the sassiest race of all time. F1 is really cooking, and while a driver's championship is unlikely, the constructors is fully on, and I know in my heart Ferrari will win it again. Anyways, Red Bull is imploding, McLaren are inexperienced, Ferrari are Ferrari, and Merc are the dark horses, so Spa is wide open, and I think this race will be banging since a close pack is just what this brilliant track needs, and we can see something remarkable this weekend. So enough talking, and let us discuss the upgrades teams will be bringing, the drama entering the weekend, as well as my predictions for this year's Belgian Grand Prix. As always, upgrades first, and with this being the last race before the summer break, I'm just going to be honest and say for most of these, I have no source, so I'm just going off of what seems to be likely, and even if these are right, they're not really going to be that big of upgrades. But nevertheless, let's begin with the lower dogs, and we have Racing Bulls, and these will most likely just be track specific. However, they're looking for any performance, so let's see what they can cook here, and who knows, maybe this can be the last hoorah of Yuki or Daniel before they maybe go to Red Bull. Next up is Alpine, and again, track specific, but I do want to say how Alpine have brought very little upgrades this season in general, and it's weird, since with how ass they are, you would think they would be reeling in upgrades like McLaren last year before Austria, but no. I guess they like the quiet life in the back, except for a few races here and there, so what can you do about it? Next, we have Williams as they continue to move up the grid, and one can only hope for their chances since they're picking themselves up after a disappointing start. So let's see if these track specific upgrades will work on their car, and we could see Albon and Logie Bear up in the midfield and perhaps in the points. Now for the big dogs, and we have Mercedes. Mercedes seem to have modded infinite resource points and are just rushing every upgrade they can, since these upgrades are just non-stop. And if you remember from my Mercedes video, I said how they plan to bully themselves back to the front again, and it seems to be paying off. So let's see how they can continue to develop as the season progresses. Next, we have McLaren, and let's hope these upgrades can make us all forget about their winning bottle last Sunday. McLaren have a rocket ship, and more upgrades will further cement themselves forward, and Hungary was the first true domination since there was literally no competition, and while I still believe the Drivers' Championship is not on, who knows at this point, since McLaren upgrades not only work, but put themselves even more and more ahead. Finally, we have Ferrari, and again, no source, just vibes, and I desperately need something here. We need to get our form back, and by fixing the issues with high speeds, we can truly be back, so I'm taking Hopium and I'm praying for a miracle here. Again, I want to apologize since upgrade information for this race is scarce, or maybe I'm just not looking hard enough, since this is the final race before the summer break, so a couple of these are just based on how likely I believe upgrades will come. Drama talk now, and yeah, Hungary gave us a lot of food to digest, so let's start with McLaren. They suck. Not in terms of performance, oh no, they have the fastest car. However, in strategy, my word, McLaren are the only team that can somehow get a 1-2 in the worst way possible. If you somehow don't know, Piastri was leading for a while, however, in the last pit stops, Lando overtook with an undercut that McLaren were fully aware of. So, when Oscar came out behind him, they said to Lando, give up the position, which was then followed by a multiple lap passive aggressive argument before he finally did give it up. Now in my opinion, Oscar deserved the win, and I'm glad he won. However, it's not like Lando was a hog, he deserved a win too, and McLaren put themselves in a scenario that could have been avoided had they just been more smarter with their strategy. It was overall very embarrassing for the team, and hopefully they learn from their mistakes. Next up, we got Max Verstappen being the literal definition of a crash out. This guy gets given a horrible car that should have been nowhere near the top 5, and somehow he is in the top 5. However, there is only so much he can do, and in this last race, he finally lost it. Austria was a racing incident in my opinion, however this was anything but. Again, this is my opinion, and while yes, Lewis could have taken more avoiding action. Let's not act like Max didn't do full terrorism here. I'm all for real racing, but this is not real racing, this is just being a sore loser. However, it should be noted, I don't blame Max for this behavior since Red Bull did everything possible to make him as mad as possible and then gaslighted him into thinking he was wrong for everything. Overall, poor management for Red Bull since instead of calming Max down, they just wounded him up, which led to Max crashing out and taking everyone down with him. Now let's quickfire the remaining controversy and let's begin with Aston Martin, since at the end of the race, Alonso was asked to cede position to Stroll so he could challenge Yuki. However, Alonso was told that if Stroll fails, he will return the position, in which he didn't. Nice going there, guys. Also, Ricciardo was given a horrible strategy by RB, and he was livid on the radio. And this is pretty obvious, since with Checo 1 foot out the door, every result matters, and right now, Yuki seems to be the better man for that Red Bull seat, so I don't blame Danny Rick for being a little mad. Also, Antonelli won a great feature race in F2, and before Toto started creaming himself, Kimi said he doesn't believe he is ready for F1, so there's that for Toto. Whew. Now for predictions, which are my favorite parts of these videos. As always, it must be stated, we will predict 3 things: the top 5 in the quali, the top 5 in the race, and a random prediction from any session. It should also be noted that these predictions are based on nothing but pure vibes, so bear with me. Anyways, let's begin our predictions, and first, we have quali, and in 5th, I have Sainz, in 4th, I have Leclerc, in 3rd, I have Piastri, in 2nd, I have Norris, and for pole position, I have Max Verstappen, since this is one of his best tracks. Now for the race predictions, and in 5th, I have Hamilton, in 4th, I have Norris, in 3rd, I have Sainz, in 2nd, I have Leclerc, and the winner of the Belgian Grand Prix is Max Verstappen, since I think he will bounce back and set us back to reality. Now for my random prediction, and I predict that during the race, there will be a safety car near pit windows in which McLaren will get them wrong and lose some crucial positions, hence why they are not prevalent in my race predictions. So here is my weekend preview for this year's Belgian Grand Prix. The hype is real. Banger after banger after banger. Let's hope this streak continues and we continue eating as Formula 1 fans. So with teams bringing upgrades, drama 100% spewing onto this weekend, and with my horrible predictions, we can at least look forward to this race and see if we get even more amazing racing. Like I said last week, this season has major 2019 vibes, and if these races continue, who's to say this can't be 2012 again with all the unpredictability in the air? Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, since that would greatly help me and allow me to create better content, and let me know in the comments what your predictions are. And as always, have an amazing day.
Good weather for the duck.